Get cozy! Hey everyone, it's me, your pal Ellen. Are you all snuggled up and ready for some super fun stories tonight? I know I am. Bedtime is just the best, isn't it? It's that wonderful time when the whole world gets quiet and calm, and we can get all cozy in our warm, comfy beds. Just think about all the amazing adventures that are waiting for us, right there inside the pages of a book, or in the stories we share. It's like a little bit of magic, but it's totally real, I promise. So get ready because we have some truly wonderful tales coming your way. Let's get this story party started. You know, stories are like secret little doors, opening up to fantastic places. They can take you to worlds you've never even dreamed of before. Imagine worlds filled with animals that can talk. Can you believe that? And brave, shining heroes and all sorts of sparkling, dazzling magic. Sometimes, just as you're about to drift off to Sleepy Town, that's when the very best adventures can begin right inside your imagination. These stories we're sharing are absolutely perfect for that special, quiet time. They're exciting and fun, but also super calming and sweet. Kind of like a warm, gentle hug before you close your eyes and dream. So what do you say? Let's jump right in. Tonight we're going on an incredible journey together, you and me. A fantastic journey with some truly amazing and unforgettable characters. First, we're going to meet a great big lion. Can you do a roar? Roar. And then we will meet a teeny tiny adorable mouse. Squeak, squeak. And guess what else? There's even a sleepy bear joining the fun. Oh, that bear really, really loves to nap, I can tell you that much. We're going to see how these very different animals all become great friends and learn some really cool and important things along the way. It is all about helping each other out, no matter what. And that is a pretty fantastic lesson for everyone, don't you think so? But hold on, there's even more excitement to come. So much more. We are also going to sneak, very quietly, into a secret hidden cave. A mysterious cave that's filled with glittering, sparkling treasure. Shh, it's a secret. And inside, we will meet a super smart and kind man named Alibaba. He stumbles upon a huge secret. A really, really big one, you guys. And because of that secret, things get a little bit tricky, maybe a little bit scary too, but please, don't you worry your little heads about it, not for a second. Because clever thinking and true bravery always save the day in the end. Are you feeling excited yet? I know I am. I can hardly wait. Let's dive headfirst into these amazing magical bedtime adventures right now. Okay, first story up. Let's chat about a magnificent lion. He's not just any ordinary lion. He's a big, strong, and very proud lion. He is the king of the whole jungle, you know? Very important. He walks around with his head held high, all majestic and rather grand. Then, in our story, there is this little bitty mouse, so incredibly tiny. You might think that a great big lion wouldn't even see such a small creature. But one day, their paths cross in a very surprising and important way. The proud lion gets himself into a rather tricky situation, a real pickle. He gets caught in a hunter's net. Oh dear, he can't break free at all. He roars and roars with all his might, feeling quite stuck and a bit scared. And can you guess who comes along to offer some help? It's our very small friend, the teeny tiny but very brave mouse. At first, the lion is a little bit doubtful, saying, You want to help me? You are so very small. What could you possibly do to free me? But that little mouse doesn't pay any attention to the lion's doubts. No siree, not him. He knows deep down in his little heart that even small creatures can be incredibly mighty. So he gets straight to work with his sharp little teeth, ready for action. Nibble, 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 he goes on those thick, strong ropes of the net. It takes quite a bit of time, and it certainly takes a lot of patience. But slowly and surely, the tough ropes start to snap and break apart. And you know what happens next? The little mouse sets the huge lion completely free. Can you even believe it? That tiny little mouse saves the gigantic, powerful lion. The lion is so very surprised, and oh so incredibly grateful for the help. He learns a super duper important lesson on that very special day. He learns that acts of kindness can come from creatures of all sizes, big or small. And he also learns that you should never, ever judge someone by how they look on the outside. They become the very best of friends, that lion and that mouse, a wonderful pair, always protecting each other, always looking out for one another like true pals do. It just goes to show you, friendship is such a powerful and truly wonderful thing. A true friend is a real treasure, worth more than any gold in the world. Now, you might be wondering, where does the sleepy bear fit into this story? Well, during their many adventures together in the jungle, they meet a bear, a very, very sleepy bear, who is always looking for a good place to nap. Sometimes this bear can be a little bit grumpy, mainly because he's just so tired. But the lion and the mouse, being such good friends, are always very kind to him. They help him find the softest, coziest spots in the forest to take his naps. They even tell him quiet, gentle stories so he can rest peacefully and dream sweet dreams. And you know what? The sleepy bear learns all about friendship from them too. He sees how the big lion and the tiny mouse help each other out, always. So everyone in the story learns. Always be kind, always be helpful, and always be a good friend. Alright, are you all set for another fantastic adventure? I hope so. This next story has sparkling treasure and deep secrets and even a magic password. Wow. It is the exciting tale of a man named Ali Baba. Ali Baba was a kind and very hard-working woodcutter in a faraway land. He wasn't a very rich man, but he was generally happy with his simple life. One day, he is out in the big green forest, busy doing his woodcutting work, and suddenly he sees a group of men, 40 of them in total. That's a lot. They look pretty tough and maybe even a little bit scary, these 40 men. They ride their horses right up to a giant rock, a huge, unmoving boulder, and Ali Baba, being cautious, hides himself behind some bushes, watching very, very carefully. Then, something truly amazing happens. The leader of these 40 men shouts out a phrase. He shouts, "Open sesame!" Can you all try saying that with me? Open sesame. And just like pure magic, the enormous rock slowly rolls open. It reveals a dark, mysterious, hidden cave behind it. What a surprise. The 40 thieves, because that's what they were, go inside with all their heavy bags. Ali Baba is so incredibly curious, wondering what amazing things could be in there. He waits patiently until all the thieves leave, then he bravely tiptoes to the rock. He whispers the magic words, "Open sesame," just like he heard the leader say. And guess what happens next, you guys? The rock opens up for him too. Oh, the sheer excitement, the unbelievable thrill of this amazing discovery. Inside the cave, Ali Baba simply cannot believe his eyes. Not for a second. There are piles and piles of shiny gold coins, sparkling, glittering jewels, beautiful silks and treasures. It was more riches than he had ever seen or even dreamed of in his entire life. He quickly realizes that this must be the secret hideout of the 40 dangerous thieves. He decides to take just a little bit of the gold, only enough for his family to live comfortably. But oh dear, those tricky thieves. They soon find out that someone else knows their secret cave. They are not happy campers about this. Not happy at all, in fact. They are very angry. They try their very best to find Ali Baba, to get their revenge on him. Things become very dangerous and quite scary for poor Ali Baba and his whole family. It is a real nail-biter of a story, I tell you, full of suspense and close calls. But here is where being clever really, really comes into play. Big time. You see, Ali Baba has a very smart and loyal helper in his house named Morgiana. She is so incredibly brave, and she is also very, very quick thinking in tricky situations. She manages to outsmart those 40 cunning thieves, not just once, but again and again. She cleverly discovers their sneaky and dangerous plans to try and harm Ali Baba. And with her sharp intelligence and bravery, she saves the day for everyone. This part of the story clearly shows us that being clever and using your brain is sometimes much more powerful and effective than just being big and strong. Morgiana is a true hero in this tale, using her wits to overcome danger. So always remember, kids, think smart, be observant, and you can solve even the biggest problems. You know, there are so many other magical and enchanting stories out there in the world. They're all just waiting for you to open a book and discover them. It's like a giant party of tales. Have you ever, by any chance, heard of the story called The Snow Queen? It is such a beautiful and touching story about a very brave young girl named Gerda. Her very best friend in the whole world, a boy named Kai, is taken away by the mysterious Snow Queen. When this happens, everything becomes cold and icy, even inside his once warm heart. But Gerda, being a loyal friend, doesn't give up on him. No way, not for a moment. She decides to travel a long way, all by herself, to find him and bring him home. She faces many difficult challenges and meets all sorts of magical and strange creatures on her journey. Her kindness and her deep love for Kai are like a warm, bright sunshine, melting the cold. Gerda's incredible journey teaches us all about never, ever giving up on those we care about. It also teaches us about the amazing power of true friendship and unconditional love. It shows how these wonderful feelings can melt even the iciest and coldest of hearts. And then, of course, there is the very famous story of the princess and the pea. That one is a really funny and quite charming story. It is all about a princess. Well, actually, the king and queen want to find out if she is a princess, so they decide to test her in a very unusual and quite peculiar way, you see. They put one tiny little green pea under 20 thick mattresses on her bed, and then they pile 20 soft feather beds right on top of all those mattresses. Can you even begin to imagine trying to sleep on such a ridiculously tall bed? If she can actually feel that tiny pea through all those layers, she must be a real princess. Because as the story goes, real princesses are supposed to be very, very sensitive, you see. And guess what happens? She does feel it. She can't get comfortable at all. She has a truly terrible night's sleep, tossing and turning, all because of that one tiny pea. This delightful story tells us a little bit about being honest and true to who you are. And it also shows us that sometimes, even the smallest, most insignificant things can make a big difference. These wonderful old tales, these classic fairy tales, they are just packed full of wisdom. They have been told and retold for many, many, many years, for generations. Passed down from grandmas and grandpas to their children and grandchildren, and they still teach us very important and valuable lessons even today, which is amazing. So, why are stories so super great for all of us, especially at bedtime when we're winding down? Well, for one thing, they take us on incredible journeys to amazing and fantastical places, that's for sure. They let us meet all sorts of unforgettable and incredible characters, both good and bad. But even more than that, these stories teach us so many good and important things about life. Things like how to be a good and loyal friend, just like the lion and the mouse showed us. Or how to be clever and resourceful, like Alibaba and the amazing Morgiana. Or how to be kind, brave, and determined, just like little Gerda in her quest. Reading stories helps our imaginations grow big and strong and wonderfully colorful. It helps us understand the world around us and other people a little bit better each day. And most of all, it's just plain fun. So keep reading, keep listening, and keep dreaming big dreams.